Hi, I'm Ryan from Insertion Products, and today I'm going to talk to you about the new Met XT Powerlifting Competition Rack. So we're going to go over about 10 things that we like about this rack, some of the nice features of it, and something that we think makes it, kind of special in its own right. So we're going to start on the side since I'm here. I'm going to talk about the bench press safeties. I'm doing that here because you can see this pin. So the bench safeties are extra long. They have this pin here and they wrap around. The benefit of these features are that there's no way a bar when you're benching can get between the safety and the upright. As you've probably seen on some videos on the internet, on some racks they don't wrap around and the bar can kind of sneak between those two things and can get pretty dangerous pretty quickly. Beyond that, there's a pin here that actually really holds the safety from having any kind of tilt or movement like that, which makes it a very secure safety. It's also extra long, and it's coated, or it actually has like a rubber topper on it. So the rubber topper is removable. It's full rubber. It's not like a hard plastic or anything like that. So really good protection for the barbell if the barbell comes in contact with it. So the feet on this rack are a little different, or the base on this rack is a little different. It's longer this way. This foot here comes deeper back and almost completely in line with the end of the safety, meaning that if a bar hits the end of the safety, the rack should not move. It should have that support under the safety. They do say that the rack is, or the safeties are rated up to an 800-pound drop, and they do say it can be used for squats. Now, that said, we would always recommend spotters when squatting. The safety should only be there as a very last resort if you're training by yourself. But we definitely recommend spotters always for safety. Next up, we'll talk about are the rollers. So nice smooth rolling action on these. They're also made of a plastic, so they won't chew up your barbell. A very good roller. Nice to have, keeps your barbells in pristine condition. The lift arms have a nice rubber handle on them, which is kind of unique. Lots of them are just steel, and if you're getting sweaty and your hands are slippery, they can get slippery to grab onto, especially when you're lifting a lot of weight. This has a nice rubber solid grip on it, so nice feature to have. The bench insertion and removal is different from any other rack I've ever seen. So if I pop it out here, you can see that it sits on these little pegs. So instead of having to maneuver the rack around to inserts on the far side or have them screw into the front, this guy just drops on, and it has angles to help it find the dead center. So a really nice in-out or bench insertion removal. Makes it a little bit easier to take it in and out. You're not, juggling a bench around a rack. The only negative downside of this, I'll just say, is that the potential, if you are an extremely wide person that likes to lift off and you have large feet, they might come in contact when you're squatting. But they do sit in front of the uprights, so you'd have to have, like, I'm pretty much right under the bar here. I'm as wide as I can get in the rack, and my toes are still not touching the pins, so I don't think it'd be an issue. But I only have a size 10 foot. So if you had like a size 14 and you were, full width here, you may have to modify. So while I have the rack like this, I'll just go over the racks in out. So like other racks, you adjust those. Now on this back side, you're also gonna adjust the top safety holder. So you can loosen these off, adjust the top safety holder, because that whole safety, we're gonna loosen this guy off too. The whole safety is designed to tilt. So there's actually a notch in this safety holder here to allow it to tilt. We're gonna tighten those up. And one thing I haven't seen on other racks is this adjustment knob here. And if I tighten that up, it really locks us in place. I've never squatted on a combo rack that's felt as solid as this. when it's tightened up and bolted down with a good latch in front of it to hold it in place, it doesn't move. When you re-rack the bar, there's no tilting, there's no play in the rack. It feels like a bolted down power rack. You do see the odd time where you'll see a combo rack tip or tilt or just move around a lot. And this doesn't do that. When you tighten all these down, it feels like it is locked in place. Part of that comes with this centerpiece. A lot of other combo racks on the market come together. They have two-part base, come together in the middle with an insertion that goes inside of them. So if those bolts aren't really tight, then you kind of get a center pivot point. Because this has one solid bar across with two bolts on either side attaching it, the rack is very solid. It feels very secure, and it doesn't feel like it has any play on it. We've used it in our gym for over a year, and everyone that squats on it says the same thing. It's an incredibly solid feeling rack. So another thing we like is that the hole spacing is 1 inch, so it allows you very small movements or adjustments to find that perfect bench rack height or squat rack height. It also, the uprights are wood filled, so allows you to slide the pin through. There's no missing alignment because the wood guides the pin right through. So it makes it easy to change your rack heights. So another thing that we like is the bench, when out of the rack, still sits perfectly flat. So it gives you another option when someone may be doing squats, you need a flat bench, you can pull it aside, use it for dumbbells or whatever you might need it for. Also on the bench, the lift-off feet have grip tape on them, so really secure. You shouldn't slip off them while you're lifting off for someone. And the other thing, the bench pad is really quite firm and nice and grippy. So we recommend cleaning the pad after each use. The vinyl will break down over time, especially with skin oils and hair oils. As it attacks the vinyl, it'll dry it out and damage it. So if you keep it clean, it should last a long time. But we find it nice and firm, grippy bench pad. So an excellent bench as well. Beyond that, the rack is built to IPF specifications. So the right bench width, the right bench height, the adjustments, all IPF spec. So training on this will get you ready for training or competition, which is really nice to have that, ability to train on equipment that feels like a competition platform. So the other thing I'll mention quickly is that on the safeties, they have the same 1 inch adjustment, so you can find that perfect safety height for you as well. Making sure that when you're benching, you can find that height that's just below where you're gonna touch. So if something were to happen, you're still safe. So small adjustments on the safeties as well, making it a good, safe rack to use. So that's it. That's our list of features we like on this rack. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. We're excited with this product, and we're excited to get it out there and let people start using it and getting feedback. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, again, leave them down in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.